Just do it!
Hey, how y'all doing? Welcome to another episode of Fanalist. It's your boy Fanalist.
And you already know this your boy Rothenic.
Let's get straight to it, man. What a crazy college basketball season. Shout out to the Notre Dame girls and the Villanova men's basketball team on a terrific season and a great championship games. How you feel about that, Rothenic?
Man, it was a crazy Final Four. You already know, shout out to Notre Dame, and you already know, shout out to Villanova. But to be honest, I was more entertained when it came to the whole Notre Dame matchup against Mississippi State.
Definitely. Agumbawale showed out those last two games against UConn and Mississippi State, hitting two clutch shots for both games. Yo, she definitely solidified herself for this upcoming WNBA draft.
And you already know she has a little mama blood plumped into her because it's ridiculous how clutch she was in the clutch.
The reason why she wore the number 24 and Kobe was on scene, so you know she had to show out.
Showing out indeed. It was ridiculous how she was able to just get the ball in the right situations for both the Final Four and the championship itself.
Definitely. And then shout out to the Villanova boys basketball team. Shout out to DiVincenzo. He showed people why he was the Rhode Island Player of the Year. So everybody was wondering, who the heck is this guy? But, you know, this is the third championship game where the backup player off the bench was the MVP.
That's ridiculous. That's a crazy stat. I didn't know that, to be honest with you. Dude.
Definitely. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. But, yeah, definitely this college basketball season was great. Now we're getting ready for the draft and see a lot of people, you know, heading off to the NBA draft early. And definitely can't wait to see the new upcoming freshmen coming into their new teams next year.
Indeed. Who do you have as a favorite for the men?
Oh, definitely got to go back with Duke, man. You know I got to stay home team all day. I feel like with what they have coming in next year and what they have on the bench, I feel like Coach K is going to learn from his mistakes and probably utilize the bench more often instead of just using the same 5, 6, 7 players that, you know, that he ran with. I definitely think with the incoming group of players he has coming in, he can move them around a lot more. Hopefully, especially with Marquise Bolden coming back for a junior year, if he can stay healthy, he could be the player that everybody was hoping to see when he came out of Texas as the Texas Player of the Year.
Yeah, that's something that we definitely want to look into. But when it comes to my favorite pick, I understand Duke is the top favorite right now because they got the number 1, the number 2, and the number 3 overall high school prospects. But I kind of want to go against the Duke bandwagon. So I'm going to pick Villanova once again. I feel like Villanova has a chance to possibly repeat. You never know what's going to possibly happen in college. You know, March Madness is something that we see every year, year in and year out. So Duke might be one of the inexperienced teams that could get knocked out early.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, with Villanova, it's just really who's about to leave this year. A lot of people assume that Bridges, who's guaranteed to be a top 10 pick, Brunson might be out the door. Spellman, who sat out last year, is looking to be on a few teams' radar. I mean, they might lose a lot of players, but the incoming class for Villanova is definitely just as good as Duke. But I'm going to give y'all 2 teams to be on the lookout for, especially if these freshmen decide to stay longer than 1 year. And that's Vanderbilt's incoming class and LSU's incoming class. I saw today on the Jordan Classic game, and those guys are really standout players. So definitely be on the lookout for Vanderbilt and LSU in the future.
Yeah, that's going to be some threats in the SEC. Now, when it comes to the other main divisions in NCAA basketball, you got to look at teams like Arizona State that's going to be having a force to reckon with next year. Also, you got to look at the rivals of Duke, North Carolina. And you have the quiet number 1 of Virginia if they could get past their terrible tournament performances in the past.
Definitely. North Carolina, definitely, from what I saw today, has 2 studs coming in for next season in Little and White. Both of them very athletic scoring ability. Virginia, I just feel like Virginia, they're like another couple McDonald's All-American players away. I mean, they already have one on the board, on the roster with Guy, but as you can see, just wasn't enough. Definitely can't count out Arizona State. Great job that Bob Hurley is doing over there at Arizona State. And he has a great incoming recruiting class. And shout out to his brother Dan Hurley, who got the UConn job. So definitely next year's college season is going to be definitely interesting.
Something that we're going to be thrilled to see. Now, when it comes to the female, the women's side, who do you feel like is going to be the favorite? Do you feel like Notre Dame's going to repeat, or is it once again UConn?
Honestly, from what I've seen in the next upcoming recruiting class, you can never count UConn out. But this recruiting class that's coming in for these Big 12 teams is out of this world. Baylor and Texas have giants coming in next year. Same height as the Mississippi State Center, 6'5", 6'6", and 6'7". Both programs are bringing in some extremely gifted players. So I'm just gonna say the field. That's what I'm gonna say.
Something that we're going to be anticipating for next college basketball season. Now, when it comes to Champions League, I know you've been watching Champions League of recent, even though your team got knocked out.
Yeah, definitely. Sad season for Chelsea all year around, but go Blues, go Blues. But definitely, oh man, Ronaldo, he's back. He's on another level on this second half of the season, shutting out Juventus, who looks to be on another disappointing Champions League out for another year in a row. I mean, sorry Juventus, you just can't cut it. I mean, you win the Italian league, but hey, when it comes to Champions League, you can only go so far.
When it comes to dealing with La Liga, you cannot make it past them. It's sad to say, every time they go against either Real Madrid or Barcelona, they just can't get the job done. Buffon is a legend, however, he just can't go up against the likes of Ronaldo and Messi. When you look at the other Champions League matches, there was a great contest between Liverpool and Man City. Did you get to look at that?
Liverpool ran them boys off. As they say in basketball, ran them out the gym, but they ran them off the field.
Running them off the field. They ran them out the stadium. It was an embarrassment. If Salah didn't get hurt, honestly, the final score would have possibly have been 5-0.
Yeah, crazy to just think about how much more goals they could have produced. I mean, Man City tried their hardest, but they just couldn't get it done. Also, shout out to the GOAT. I'm definitely going to say he's the GOAT. Messi just continues to be spectacular every year, every season. They destroyed Roma. They could have had like 7 goals that game, like when Germany scored on Brazil.
It made no sense. Honestly, the Barcelona game, it was getting a lot of people upset that they weren't scoring at will against Roma. There was a few calls that Roma could have gotten. However, it wouldn't have affected the results of this match. It was 4-1, 2 own goals, and you can't forget the greatness of Messi and Suarez, both pitching in into the additional goals.
Yeah, clearly. Also, Bayern Munich definitely had a great game against Sevilla. I mean, you can never count out Bayern Munich. Their squad, they just put pieces in and they perform. I mean, James, since he's left Real Madrid on loan, he's performed very well. David Alaba, they're without Mueller, and of course Lewandowski. He continues to show that he's one of the top strikers in the world.
And that's why Real Madrid is waiting to try to get him into Spain. But that's not going to happen. Bayern Munich right now with Lewandowski is looking like a force to be reckoned with in this Champions League. Their defense is back in form and there's not even 100% healthy. So imagine once they finally get fully healthy, what they can do when it comes to the semifinals.
Yeah, you're right. But I've heard rumors that Bayern Munich's trying to let go of Lewandowski and go younger. I heard they're even looking at getting Morata from Chelsea, who hasn't really performed, but like they always say, a change of scenery always does a person well. As you can see with Batshuayi, since he's left Chelsea and gone to Borussia Dortmund, he's just been a stud over there since leaving Chelsea.
For some reason, whenever you leave the Chelsea program, you just tend to get better. Yeah. I don't know why is that, but it seems to happen. So maybe if he was to go to Bayern Munich, he could be a nice backup. However, I highly doubt that Bayern Munich will let go of probably one of the best strikers in the world for somebody that's unproven. When it comes to Bayern Munich, you gotta look at their system. They prefer experience over potential. Because if that was the case, they would have picked up people like Dybala, Paul Pogba when they had the opportunity. They would have picked up Kevin De Bruyne when they had the opportunity instead of him going to Wolfsburg. They had plenty of opportunities to grab young stars, but they preferred to get proven vets. So I highly doubt that they would get Morata.
I mean, I feel what you're saying. I mean, first of all, Bayern Munich's in Germany, who produces some of the top players in the world. So prospects, vets, doesn't matter. They have all of that. But let's get to this NFL trade and free agency. What a trade and offseason it's been for the LA Rams with picking up Brandon Cooks, adding Talib and Peters, and now Ndamukong Suh. I mean, what can you say about that defense with even LaMarcus Joyner coming back from injury?
It's real simple. It's Super Bowl or go home. All we need to see is what they're going to do when it comes to this stock defense. They now have a primary weapon on the offense aside from Gurley. So the Rams are honestly trying to prove that they can bring a championship to LA. They're saying one and done right now. It's not even going to be one and done. It's a potential dynasty.
Yeah, and let's not forget, Robert Woods had a great season last year, even with Sammy Watkins on the other opposite side of the field with him. And we're going to still see what they're going to do with Tavon Austin. I mean, I feel like now they just got way more options now to move him around more and use him more in the offense. Crazy to see what the LA Rams are going to look like next year.
That's something I cannot wait to see. When it comes to the NFC, honestly, it's going to be a very interesting championship race. You got teams like the Vikings, the Rams, the Saints, even the Panthers, even the Giants. A lot of people are marking out the Giants, but don't forget, they lost their entire receiving core in one match. So they have a huge potential bounce back season this year. You still have the Eagles, and you also have the resurging Rams and potentially the Seahawks. NFC is going to be very interesting next season.
Well, let's not forget about that bad man in Green Bay, now with Jimmy Graham. First time he's ever had a tight end with that type of ability.
Oh, how disrespectful am I? You can't keep out the Packers. The Packers with Aaron Rodgers, probably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time based on QB ability. You can't forget that. He's a bad man.
Yeah. And if they make the right pick in this draft, I mean, they're hoping to get a corner in this draft, just like how the Saints got a steal with Marcus Lattimore, who turned out to be a great shutdown, lockdown corner in this league. The sky's the limits for every team. How do you feel about this upcoming draft, with all the trades going on? How do you feel about it? Who do you feel like, name your top 5 best players.
Top 5 best players in the NFL draft. No particular order. Barkley, the guard from Notre Dame, Sam Darnold. You also got to get the safety, the safety from Alabama, Fitzpatrick. I'm at 4, and the 5th best player in the draft, in my personal opinion, that's NFL ready. Bradley Chubb.
I agree with those. I don't have any quarterbacks in my top 5. Saquon Barkley is clearly the number 1 player. I feel like he's on like that Jalen Ramsey when, just immediate impact coming into the league. Fitzpatrick is number 2 for me. Then is Chubb. 4th is the guard Nelson from Notre Dame. And 5th would have to be, I have a sleeper. Actually, no, he's not a sleeper. Derwin James. I feel like Derwin James is a can't-miss safety.
Oh, you feel like he's like the Jabril Peppers of this year's draft?
Nah, I just feel like with all the family history and what he's done over the course of his career in high school and college, he's just NFL ready.
That's a good pick. Derwin James is somebody that I hope drops to the Panthers. God willing, if it happens, I'll be thankful. But we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks when the draft comes.
Yeah, clearly. We definitely can't wait for the draft. I mean, it's going to be crazy to see where all these players end up. And the free agency is still crazy to me. I mean, we still got Vaccaro on the free agency, who was a top safety for the Saints last year. Odell's still looking for a contract, but he's already told the Giants that he will be at voluntary practices and meetings. So that's a good thing for the Giants fans out there.
Yeah, it's definitely good for now. We're going to see how long that lasts. Hopefully the chemistry in New York is good and Odell stays.
Yeah, definitely want my boy to stay. Gotta get ready for the future. But, I mean, who you got for the AFC, though?
Well, right now I feel like when it comes to the AFC, it really goes down between two teams, the Patriots and the Steelers.
Yeah, clearly.
But when it comes to like sleeper teams that I would want some players, not players, but people to look out for is the Raiders.
Yes.
You also have, you're also looking at teams like the Broncos, who now have a potentially solid quarterback with Case Keenum.
Mm-hmm.
And you also got, when you're looking to be completely honest, the Chiefs. The Chiefs might actually have somebody that could bring them over the edge with a gunslinging quarterback. So it might be something that we could see, but don't put all your faith into this inexperienced quarterback. But in due time, he might be a threat, and so might be the Chiefs.
Yeah, I definitely got the Patriots and the Steelers. I would have said the Chiefs if they had Alex Smith, but hey, we don't know what Patrick Mahomes could do right now. We'll see in the future. I'm going to go with Tennessee. I feel like they made a lot of moves in the free agency. Mariota, I think, is going to improve on last year. And, Derrick Henry coming back. I don't know what they're going to do with Murray. Then you have Jamal White. They're surrounding him with weapons and doing better on that defense. And that's all that really matters for the Titans right now.
So, yes, that's something that we'll definitely see when it comes to Tennessee as well. You're absolutely right. And when it comes to some of the mediocre teams, we just want to see what they're going to do. I kind of want to see what's going on with Cleveland. I want to see if they're going to actually improve by a significant margin and not by a slight margin, because the pickups they got in this offseason and with the potential draft picks they will pick up as well, they might be a force to reckon with.
Honestly, I'm going to make a bold prediction for the Cleveland Browns next year, people. Just let y'all know that Fenelon said it first. They're either going to go 7-9 or 8-8. That's how confident I feel about the Cleveland Browns next year.
That's a bold prediction, but hopefully you're going to hear it first. We don't want to hear nobody else jumping on the bandwagon. Fenelon said it first. There will be a potential non-losing record for the Browns, especially with all the pickups that they got. I don't know. It's hard for me to see it. It's hard. You got Landry. You still got a solid run defense. And now all you got to do is work on some skilled weapons on offense and just get a skilled defensive corner. That's all you need.
Yeah, and I mean, with Coleman coming back, the receiver from Baylor, definitely got a lot to look upon. But, this concludes another episode of Fanalist. This your boy's Fanalist. Be on the lookout for my blog coming out soon, Fanalist blog site with all update articles on different sports and players. The next blog is going to show all the NBA prospects and how I feel about them. Be on the lookout, y'all.
And you already know what it is. It's your boy Rothenic. Don't forget, check out my page when it comes to all of the latest anime, reactions, reviews, anything anime related. I'm the guy for it.
Y'all have a good night.
Yeah.